Oh boy. This day was coming. Alright guys, welcome back to MaffmanJones and I's Star Wars reviews. Last month we reviewed The Phantom Menace, and that was on his channel. If you haven't seen that review, please go onto his channel and watch that review. I'm a guest on that channel. Now, on my channel, we are reviewing today part 2 of the prequels. Yay! Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, takes place after the Phantom Menace. Anakin is all grown up. And not for the good part, should I add. Basically, Obi-Wan is training him. They seem to have a good working relationship, although Anakin is kind of a rebel on that part. Padme and him are starting to form a little relationship there, and then there are things that are going on. I chose to not remember this movie, but I actually do remember things. Alrighty guys, let's get into Attack of the Clones. Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi, he is by far the best thing about the prequels. The best thing about it. And also there's one really cool lightsaber fight at the end. Oh shit. Where do I begin with this one? Alright. Attack of the Clones. George Lucas had such a huge opportunity to correct all the wrongs that he did. He did correct one wrong, which was not including this guy so much. However, he fucked it up even more. Well, how so? By not only including some of the worst written dialogue in the entire saga, but having one of the most awkward romances I've ever seen. There are some plot details that just don't make any sense. Like, for one example, there's one scene where Padme is trying to sleep and this assassin is trying to kill her, right? Why would you use worms? You have a sniper, right? Shoot her in the fucking head! And also, there is a scene while they're wide in the open field. I'm sorry, Padme, aren't you being hunted? Like, Lily, does this look like... Seriously. Okay, seriously. Does that look like a place you want to be when you're being hunted? I thought not. Now with Phantom Menace, Jake Lloyd killed what could have been a really cool character for Anakin as a kid. Now, when you recast Anakin as a teenager, you better make him right. They fucked it up once again with Hayden Christensen. Now here's the thing. Now, if you're going to make a path to the dark side for Anakin, I think George Lucas got, rebellious teenager with a whiny emo bitch. It's not even fair. It's not fair. He doesn't understand. He doesn't understand. Tough shit, kid. Life isn't fair. All he does in this movie is whine. Just like Phantom Menace, there is a overabundance of CGI as usual. Even though there's that one cool fight in the arena near the end of the film, there are two things that absolutely ruin that fight. I was looking forward to Yoda and Count Dooku fighting. Now, the thing with Yoda, if I remember correctly, he was the one that doesn't really resort to violence. He'd rather use his wisdom. But no, he just goes right to fighting. And that fight looked, it was even very exciting. All it showed Yoda doing was just him doing barrel rolls the entire time. And Count Dooku, okay? I love Christopher Lee, okay? I absolutely love Christopher Lee. That guy could have made an amazing villain. He's not very intimidating in this movie. R.I.P. Christopher Lee, seriously. R.I.P. to Christopher Lee, but oh my god. That's not going to stop me from saying he was a terrible Sith. That's the thing I've really noticed throughout this prequel trilogy is, where are the villains? There's not a single villain in this prequel trilogy we had, except for Darth Maul. That's the only villain. Yeah, it's just, oh god, it's just not a good movie. And now Jar Jar Binks is part of the Senate. Why the fuck would you make this guy a political head? Oh, God. So overall, Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones is definitely the worst out of all the Star Wars movies. I don't know how this is rated higher than Phantom Menace on Rotten Tomatoes. I will be generous and give this movie a 1 out of 5. Don't worry, Mothman, did not forget you. What are your thoughts on this, buddy?
Hey, what's up, peoples? I'm John Maffio, aka MaffmanJones, and I guess we're talking about Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones because it's July and we're still not at the good movies yet. And I somehow thought going into it, because I haven't seen it in full since 2002, like the other movie, Phantom Menace, so I was going into it thinking this is going to be a little bit more enjoyable than Phantom Menace, because Phantom Menace is boring. Well, I was right. It was more enjoyable to watch from beginning to end. It's got a better pace. It's got more enjoyable action, even though the action is shitty. But the screenplay and the acting, excluding a couple particular actors, horrid, terrible, monstrously bad. Wow. This was in movie theaters at some point in time. Wow. This is the worst part about the whole movie, is that they still included Jar Jar Binks in it, even though it's a very minor role now, but he's part of the Republic. He is the sole main reason why everything goes to shit in Star Wars universe. Ewan McGregor really comes into his own as Obi-Wan Kenobi in this movie, and if I haven't said it before, I'm going to say it now. He is one of the saving graces of these prequel films. He's having fun with the role, but he's also taking it seriously, and he creates his own character, even though he is pretty much doing a really good spot-on impression of Alec Guinness. Natalie Portman. She is so bad. Oh my god, she is terrible. Her line delivery is awful. She is really attractive, though, and she wears really provocative dresses to make Hayden Christensen fall in love with her. And that's a whole other thing. Her line delivery and her acting in this movie is terrible, but I kind of blame George Lucas for that. Hayden Christensen. Oh, Anakin Skywalker. Oh, man. Perfect casting right here. Man, so great. Obviously, it's opposite day because he sucks. His lines are terrible. His line delivery is also terrible. And he makes these really creepy, subtle and subdued sometimes, still nevertheless incredibly creepy faces, but I blame that on George Lucas. God rest his soul, Christopher Lee is in this movie as Count Dooku, and he's also one of the saving graces of the film because he really brings a presence. Even if you don't know him as an actor and his past, you still see him in this film and you're like, wow, he brings such screen presence. He seems very powerful as a former Jedi, because he's not a Jedi. And he was the, master to Qui-Gon Jinn, who was played by Liam Neeson in the last movie, which is pretty cool. Concerning the plot of this film, I can't really explain it, but all I really remember about it, no matter what, throughout my years, was the love story between Anakin and Padme, and it really is silly. It really is. If you've seen all the other analyzations of this film, you know it's really stupid. Everything about it is silly. Padme dresses up very provocatively, as I said before, and she's being protected by Anakin Skywalker because she's being threatened. He has to protect her, and they go to a remote, distant, romantic, beautiful planet. She wears these really nice, sleek, sexy dresses, and he's just like, I'm with Natalie Portman alone right now. I should totally bone her. And I don't blame him. Jango Fett's in this movie. He gets beheaded by Mace Windu. My, he's really powerful, huh? Yeah. He has a son who is that really awesome character that we all love from the original movies, Boba. And the kid who plays him is worse than Anakin Skywalker, Jake Lloyd from Phantom Menace. He makes these weird facial expressions, and when he tries to scream when he's chasing Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Slave One, when they're going through the meteorite field, he's like, ah! He's like struggling to yell. He's like, yeah, Dad, yeah. And it's like, who directed you? Oh wait, George Lucas. Speaking of the prior action sequence I just referred to, the action in this movie is really fun, to be honest. It has a good pace to it, even though the final battle from the Phantom Menace is a much stronger final battle. The action sequences in this movie are fun to watch, they're entertaining, but they still lack a presence, a grounding, a feeling of weight, because it's all CGI, and there's nothing going on that makes sense. It's mostly nonsensical, but in a fun Star Wars type of way, so I can forgive it. And finally, I just have to say, the movie is called Attack of the Clones, right? But do the clones ever attack? No. I'm not a fan of the story behind the clones and the stormtroopers in general in this movie, but I can put that aside. However, when you name a movie Attack of the Clones, you're selling to your audience, and even in the trailer and stuff, that there's going to be clones attacking shit. It's one of the last frames of the movie where they show all the clones lining up, getting ready to go into battle, but nothing happens. The Clone Wars are probably the most interesting thing about the Star Wars franchise in terms of the prequels. And even if the Clone Wars TV show on Cartoon Network, even if the movie Clone Wars, even if all of that awesome history did not exist, you would see what happens at the end of this movie when Yoda proclaims that the Clone Wars have begun. That's really interesting. It's like, oh, that's awesome. I kind of want to see what the Clone Wars are. And that's when the movie ends. And then when we'll get to that in the next movie, but when Revenge of the Sith happens, we totally skip over the Clone Wars. So, the movie we got is so much less interesting than the movie we could have gotten. Haha, joke's on us, I guess. But, getting to the point, Attack of the Clones is a better successor to Phantom Menace in terms of action and pacing, but it's worse in terms of acting and screenplay, in my opinion, and it's more watchable, but it's a far worse movie. And I gave the first one an abomination, but I'm still going to give this one the same grade because it has redeeming values, but it all balances out. It's an abomination. Don't watch it. We're going to get to a watchable Star Wars movie next time, but these first two, no. First of all, as always, I want to thank Austin for being with me on this review. It's always awesome reviewing Star Wars movies, no matter if they're good or bad. And it's always a pleasure to be on this channel. Thank you all for watching me. I'm MaffmanJones, and I'll see you guys next time. Back to you, Austin.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to our part 2 of Star Wars reviews of our Star Wars saga. Tune in for next month when Revenge of the Sith will be on Mothman's channel. And after that, we get on to the original trilogy, thank God. Also, guys, please make sure to subscribe to MaffmanJones to catch on when the reviews will be up on his channel. And as always, guys, please like, share, and subscribe to see more content from me and from MaffmanJones as well. And until the next review, we will see you guys next time.